So, a week of self-reflection, if you will, guys. I apologize. I haven't had a lot of time today, guys. I'm just now filming. I just got done with the hustle, getting something to eat and everything, guys. Like it's like 6:20 at night when I'm putting this together. So, we're going to talk about linebackers, guys. Off my last video, when I showed you guys a few clips of the linebackers not filling the gaps correctly, that seemed to be a really, really big interest to you guys. So, I'm going to take a couple minutes. Let's talk about this issue with the linebackers on this football team, y'all. All right. Let's get it. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on in NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Stephen Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching this, guys. Once again, my name is Stephen Hyder, and this is Gate City Sports Channel. All right, y'all, today's topic. The linebacker position seems to be of interest to a lot of people here, guys, to a lot of our community. And you know what? I don't have a lot of time to do film breakdown or anything like that, guys. So I figured I'd at least bring something to you guys' attention that I know you guys are wanting to talk about. So I'll give you my perspective about this situation, and then I'll ask you guys at the end to kind of chime in the comments and tell me what you think. Here's my perspective. The game has changed a lot since I've played it. Okay, when I was in high school, yeah, of course, guys, the quarterback was the man. But also, the running back carried a certain, status that seems to have diminished since my time playing, right? Linebackers did. Like, there are certain positions that have diminished in value since I played the game. And linebacker is probably one of the largest that has, diminished. Some of this has to do with essentially, this kind of movement away from two-back sets. There's still some teams like San Francisco out there running, Minnesota run a lot of two-back sets, but league-wide, we've seen a great reduction in the amount of two-back sets run in favor of more three-wide receiver sets, right? 11-man personnel type stuff. That's taking a toll, guys, right? Now we have just a difference of things going on here. And that's what I want to talk about today, which is, like, what is going on with the linebacker position? Because if you were to ask the Eagles front office, I think they have this weird impression that somehow they're mavericks in the game. They're ahead of the curve. And by devaluing the linebacker position, they're doing the hard decisions that other organizations haven't got around to doing it yet, and they have this advantage. The problem is their theory, well, it's not materializing on the field. We don't see that production carry over to the field. Despite what they're telling us, the opposite would seem to be true, which is, hey, man, maybe you can get by without having three studs at linebacker, but boy, you better have a signal caller out there at the mic. You better have a guy that you can depend upon. You better have a guy that is an impact player in that linebacker room. It's such a change, guys, from what happened in 2017, because I know some people try to nitpick it, but man, when we had, and I know Hicks didn't finish the season, but we had Hicks, and then, we had like all the guys we had there that season, right? Like Nigel Bradham and all these guys, like just how good our linebacker core was in 2017 compared to what it is this season, guys. I'm not trying to knock Alex Singleton. I'm not trying to knock TJ Edwards. I think those two guys have been better than advertised. I think they're decent to possibly good linebackers, but they're not great, and they're certainly not difference makers. It's been a long time since we've had really good linebacker play. Like, as I think through 2018, guys, and maybe I'm just misremembering things, I don't remember outstanding linebacker play. Last year, there was an outstanding linebacker play. And this year, there certainly hasn't been outstanding linebacker play. It makes me wonder, because we had opportunities in the draft. Look, did I think the Eagles would go linebacker in the first round? No, I think that's a bit of an overvaluation of the position, unless you can get a true difference maker, like a guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer type level of talent. But you go into the second round and we don't take a linebacker and we take a quarterback. And then when we get into our compensatory pick in the third round, we take a kid who I think is extremely talented and might have a bright future in the NFL. But you don't take him there. You don't take Davion Taylor there. It's too early. Especially when there were guys like, there were other football players on the board. Akeem Gaither Davis, right? Troy Dye. Guys who have adequate playing experience. Okay? Guys that you could have plugged in and they could have been giving you meaningful reps from the start. It makes me wonder about the approach of this front office. And I know it's not, listen, guys, I understand some of the nuances of how a front office operates, especially when it comes to drafting and things like that. I know this isn't solely Howie Roseman, right? This has a lot to do with the people in charge of football operations, okay? It has a lot to do with the heads of the scouting departments. It has a lot to do with their college scouts. But at the end of the day, the way you blame the quarterback for, what happens on the field, even though sometimes, we're taking things overboard, the same thing's going to happen with the GM on draft day. Like, hey, man, you're the visible product of what's going on here. I don't know why we're devaluing linebacker the way we are. I know the game has changed, guys. Come on. I'm not blind. I can see that. But it does make me, it makes me indifferent to the front office. And I used to think that it was Jim Schwartz. But then reports have leaked out that no, it wasn't Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz won at Kenneth Murray. So that would seem to me as if Jim Schwartz would probably want a young, talented linebacker that he can, feel comfortable giving, a majority of the snaps to. We don't have that. And that leads to an internal debate in its own within our own fan base, guys. Which we've talked on numerous occasions about this, guys, about did we need a veteran presence? Some of you guys feel like, hey, man, we got a lot of these young guys. These guys are worth developing, but we don't have a veteran presence. I think it's a legitimate argument. I think we could have definitely secured a veteran presence in free agency this year, but we didn't. Then I think there's some of us that fall on the other side of things, which is, we had a lot of opportunities to get guys that, yeah, they're not veterans. Yeah, there would have been mistakes. But these guys they're good football players. These are, these would have been more NFL-ready pieces. And I'm not down on Davion Taylor, guys. Please don't mistake this as me saying, I don't believe in Davion Taylor's talent. I don't think the kid will ever pan out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we overvalued the pick, right? I'm saying we drafted consecutive picks in the second and third round who are not really contributing greatly to the team. I mean, Jalen Hurts, we're getting some use out of him, but he's not contributing greatly to this football team. I just feel like there were other selections that could have been made that would have had a bigger, we would have got more production out of them is what I'm trying to get around to, right? They would have made a bigger impact on the football team. I'm curious, guys. I mean, who knows what this will look like 5 years from now, but it doesn't look good right now. I can tell you that. The optics of our talent evaluation at the moment does not look good, okay? I think John Hightower was a solid signing, okay? I like Jalen Reagor, and I think Jalen Reagor is going to be a stud for us down the road. I do think that kid's got a lot of talent. I really, really like Jack Driscoll a lot. I do think we got some right. I think Sean Bradley, for where we drafted him in the 6th round, I think the kid is, I think he's decent. But, man, when you start missing on your second and third rounders and consecutive drafts on top of that, if you count in what we did with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, I mean, this is what's leading us into these complicated issues amongst the roster. All right, y'all. I'm done. Thank you for playing my therapist. I'm going to spin it back on you. What do you think? What is your opinion of this? Do you think we're undervaluing the linebackers? What do you think about the changing of the game and what type of linebacker, the Eagles need to seek out? I still would like to see guys who can stack and shed blocks and shoot a gap. You know what I mean? I know the game is going to faster, more twitchy kind of coverage linebackers that can run sideline to sideline. I still think you need those stumpers, guys, in my opinion. But let me know what you think there. What do you think about the talent we have on the roster? Give me your perspective on this, guys. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know what time it is. We end these videos. We're going to do a little EAGLES. All right, y'all. Let's go, Eagles.